Dear all, welcome to this orientation of taxation UK variant. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Malik Muhammad Ikramul Haq. I have done BSc Honours in Applied Accounting from Oxford Brookes University. Many of you would be familiar that this degree is awarded along with the ACCA qualifications when you guys complete your 9 exams and submit a research and analysis project. Then I have been given a master's equivalence from HEC, Pakistan, that is MCOM, and I'm an ACCA member as well. This was my bit academic introduction. As you guys know that today we are conducting an orientation of tax, the previously known as F6 exam. So moving on to my introduction and experience, I am an ACCA member having more than 17 years of teaching and management experience. So I've been teaching since last 17 years. I have taught different subjects of ACCA, but especially focusing on the taxation subject as well. This is a kind of a subject that a teacher has to update his or her knowledge each year, because each year you come across a new Finance Act and there are some changes made in this Finance Act, and every teacher must be aware of these changes. I have taught in different cities of Pakistan, that is Islamabad, Lahore, Sargodha, Faisalabad, Gujranwala, and Peshawar. So there are different institutes where I have taught in last 17 years. And then I am also ex-member of ACCA Professional Expert Forum. ACCA had introduced its Professional Expert Forum in different cities, in different countries. So in Pakistan, when it was introduced, so I have the honor to be the first ever member of that forum. We had a total of 50 members selected for that forum as professional experts. So I have been also the member of that forum as well. And finally, I am currently a virtual member of Amnesty International as well. Although this organization is serving for humanity, it raises the voices of different people around the globe. So I am also part of that. So after going through a bit my introduction, so let's move to the introduction of the syllabus of taxation. UK. I will be introducing you guys the syllabus of UK variant. Taxation has many variants. For example, in Pakistan, it has a Pakistani variant as well, it has a Singapore variant as well, and many other variants as well. But we shall be discussing the UK variant. First of all, what we have to study is the UK tax system. In this, we shall have an introduction and purpose and types of taxation. Mean, what are the purposes of the tax? Why any government would like to impose tax on its people? What are the benefits of those tax? And what are the types of taxes which are imposed in a UK tax system? Then there is income tax portion. In types of taxes, we will come across different types of taxes. One is the income tax. In income tax, we shall study about the basic income tax pro forma. This is a pro forma. You guys have to learn how to prepare that pro forma for the income tax purpose. Types of income and calculation of income tax liability. There are different types of income. Some incomes are earned, those are called non-saving incomes. Some incomes come from your savings. For example, if you put some money in your bank, you receive an interest income. That's a saving income. And some incomes are received through dividend. Whenever a person invests something in a company, he receives the dividend. So there are three main categories of income. We shall go through in detail in those incomes when we shall start study our subject. Next is the national insurance contribution. Well, it's a fund, national insurance fund, used for the benefit of those who are unemployed and old people For this, everyone has to contribute in this fund. Everyone. When I say everyone, means everyone other than unemployed people. Definitely, the people who are unemployed, who don't have any source of income, how they can contribute. So employers and employees both have to contribute in this fund. In this chapter, we shall discuss the types of national insurance funds. For example, there is a class one primary or class one employee NIC, then the class one employer NIC, and the class two, class four. So, I mean, there are different types of national insurance contributions. Different people pay different types of, for example, employees pay different and the employers pay different. Then we shall also discuss the rates of NIC and who will pay. Well, about the rate, we don't have to learn the rates of taxation. You will be given many rates in your exam. We shall be discussing all those things which are given in the exam in today's orientation. So that you don't have to learn those things by heart. All you have to do is to understand those rates so that you can apply those rates in exams. Next is the pension scheme, pension income. There are different types of pension schemes available from which a person can earn an income. So we shall discuss those types of pension income and then calculation of different pension schemes. For example, if we discuss it now, we have two types of pension schemes. One is the personal pension scheme and the other is occupational pension scheme. Definitely, this is obvious by their name that occupational pension scheme is available only to the employed person and personal pension scheme is available for everyone. Then moving ahead, the topic is capital gain tax. This is a tax levied or applied on sale purchase of non-current assets. Whenever a person sells an asset, he actually pays tax on the gain of that asset. So we will learn how to calculate that gain. So, and what are the reliefs available against those gains. So we shall be discussing in this capital gain area in detail. And then there is an inheritance tax. This tax is levied on when a person dies, his inheritance, all his inherited assets or to be paid, the tax is to be paid on all his inherited assets. So one is paid in his lifetime. That is known as the lifetime tax. That's also inheritance tax, which means whenever a person gifts someone to someone else, he might have to pay the lifetime tax on those assets. And the other is the death tax. The whole estate of that deceased person is to be taxed at a different rates. So rates are provided in the performa, which is given to you guys in exam. We shall be discussing that what are the rates which are provided in exam. Then there is a corporation tax. This is the tax paid by the corporations, companies. So there are different types of incomes on which company also pays tax. We shall calculate the taxable total profits. So these are the total profits at which the companies use to pay tax. So what are the incomes include those taxable total profits? We shall discuss those incomes when we study in detail this corporation tax area. And finally is the value added tax. You guys might be familiar with this value added tax in your previous syllabus areas like the financial accounting. You might have known about the calculation of the value added tax as well. In this paper, we shall be discussing more in detail about the value added tax. We shall discuss the mechanism that who actually pays and who actually receives this value added tax and what is the path in which this tax travels from a consumer to the government or tax authority. Then we shall be discussing the calculation of this tax, inclusive and exclusive tax amount. What is the exclusive tax amount? What is the inclusive tax amount, and how the tax figure is to be separated from that amount? We shall discuss this thing as well. And there are different schemes of value added tax available to different persons. For example, there are three types of scheme. One is the annual accounting scheme, one is the cash scheme, and one is the flat rate scheme. So we shall discuss all these three schemes once we study this value added tax. What are the benefits of those schemes? Who are the people eligible to opt for those schemes? This we shall discuss. So this is the whole syllabus area of the taxation. You can see it's a very simple syllabus area. There are only 4 or 5 types of tax which we have to study. One is the income tax, then national insurance contribution and pension income is actually part of that income tax, but the subtopics. Then is the capital gain tax and inheritance tax. You see, these taxes are to be paid by individuals. These taxes are not paid by the companies. Corporation tax is paid by the company. This is the only tax which companies pay on their own income. Though trading, either it's trading income, either it's property income, either it's capital gain, companies only pay corporation tax. Remember, the individual all pay this income tax, this capital gain tax, and inheritance tax. These taxes are paid by individuals. Corporation tax is paid by the sorry, companies, and value added tax is actually paid on the sale purchase. Whenever a person or a business purchases something, it pays the value added tax on that purchase. And whenever a business makes a sales, it actually collects that tax to be paid to the government. So these are the taxes which we will come across in this syllabus. Let's discuss the exam structure a bit. This is a 3 hours exam, computer-based exam. Now, though no manual stream is available for this exam, the whole globe, we will be doing this computer-based 3 hours computer-based exam. All questions are compulsory. The exam will contain both computational and discursive element. Means there are some questions in which you might have to discuss the benefits. You have to make some analysis which method is better. So there are different discursive elements as well in the section C area of this exam. Then the tax rates, allowances, and information on certain relief will be given in the exam. This is what I was saying, that there are different tax rates, there are different allowances available, and a huge information which is almost very tough to learn by heart. So you don't need to learn anything by heart. You only have to understand how to apply those rates. So what are the rates given in the exam? We will discuss in detail in today's orientation. But these rates and allowances and all the information on certain reliefs, you will be given these information in the exam at a separate slide or so, you can say, because it's a computer-based exam. Then there is a section A. As I told you, there are 3 parts of the exam. Number 1 is the section A. It comprises 15 objective test questions of 2 marks each. There are objective test questions. You guys are very much familiar with these type of questions. You have gone through these questions in your previous syllabus exams as well. So it makes 30 marks. Then there is a section B, which comprises 3 questions, each containing 5 objective test questions. Means there are 3 questions and there are 5 questions, 5 objective test questions in each question. And each objective test question carries 2 marks. Means one question is for 10 marks and all 3 questions is for 30 marks. So section A is for 30 marks, section B is for 30 marks. So in total, it becomes 60 marks. And the section C actually comprises 1 10 marks and 2 15 marks constructed response questions. These are the questions in which you will come across the calculation and discursive element as well. So there are 3 questions, 10 marks, 1 question is worth 10 marks. So total becomes 70 marks, and 2 15 marks question, and total it becomes 100 marks. The two 15 marks questions will focus on income tax and corporation tax. Remember, you will always come across these two areas in those two 15 marks questions. So this is given because you must study and prepare yourself according to the exam requirement. You should not go through the long question practice when it comes to the inheritance tax or the capital gain tax, etc. Because in 15 marks questions, only you have to solve the income tax and the corporation tax questions. But the other area of the exam, all other questions can cover any area of the syllabus. It means we have to practice for the objective test questions as well from this income tax and corporation tax, because the remaining area, it's not stated that the remaining area will not contain the income tax and the corporation tax area, as this has already been tested in those 15 marks area. Or objective test questions might also include these two areas as well. In total, you will be examined for the 100 marks. So this is the exam structure, tax exam structure, the type of the paper you will come across. Now, moving ahead to the information which you guys will be given in the exam. Those are, first of all, you will be given with the income tax rates. As I told you that you have to study the income tax. These are the rates which you are given. For example, there is a normal rate and there are some dividend rates. You have different rates of taxes for the different incomes. Dividend income, you have different rate, and for the other income, you have different rates. We will definitely practice this. It's just for the information only. For example, if a person has an income from £1 to 37,500 pounds, and it's the income other than the dividend, he will be taxed at 20%, and the dividend income will be taxed at 75%. And then there is a band of a higher rate band known as 37,500 1 to 150,000, having different rates. Then the income above 150,000 having different rates. There are some different rates for the saving income as well. We shall discuss these rates when we will go through in detail. That's the basic rate taxpayers, and for the higher rate taxpayer, there are some additional reliefs and a dividend nil rate band as well. A starting rate of 0% applies to saving income where it falls within the first 5,000 of taxable income. We shall also discuss that how it applies. Now, this information is given to you in exam, so you don't have to learn it, that what are the rates of different income and what is the rate of saving income and what is the rate applied, how, for how much income we will apply the 0% rate. You don't have to learn it. This all will be given to you in exam. Then there are some personal allowances available to each individual. What are those, when, why they are applied, we shall discuss in detail when we will study income tax. But remember, the figure for personal allowances is 12,500. It is given to you guys in exam. And then there is some part of this personal allowances which is transferable from husband to wife or between spouses. That is known as transferable amount. You will also be given this transferable amount, that is 1250, and the income limit 100,000 pounds, above which the personal allowances starts reduced. Where adjusted net income is 120,000 or more, the personal allowances is reduced to zero. This is also told when you have an income known as adjusted net income. What is adjusted net income? We shall discuss that in detail when we will start studying. So 125,000 above, the personal allowances are reduced to zero. Then there are different resident status. UK tax is paid by the UK resident. How a person become resident, that's also explained in this table, and you will be given this table in exam. For example, if a person has spent less than 16 days in UK, 16 to 45, 46 to 90, and different days. So you have to decide according to the days spent in the UK and whether he was previously resident or not. If he was previously resident, different ties he has to meet. We shall discuss in detail what are those ties. We shall discuss in detail what if he is not previously resident. then you cannot discuss that in detail. If he is not previously resident, it means you cannot call him as a tax resident. So moving ahead, we have child benefit income tax charge. You will be given this in exam. If a person receives a child benefit, he might have to pay the tax authorities if he is a rich person. So who is the rich person and who will be charged a tax on this child benefit? This we shall study. Then there are different pension schemes and pension scheme limits available. There is an annual allowance of 40,000, minimum allowance 4,000, income limit, etc. So there are some approved mileage allowances. If a person uses his own car for the business purpose, then how much amount he can be exempted from the tax and how much amount he can be charged in a tax, or he can be given a relief. Then next is individual savings account. The overall investment, these are different accounts, tax-free investment. Overall investment limit is 20,000. Then property income, basic rate is section applies to 100% of finance cost related to residential properties. What is this and how it applies? We shall discuss when we will study income tax and the property income in that income tax. Then moving ahead, there are different car benefit percentages. If a person is holding a car, how he might be charged with a higher tax if its car is has a higher CO2 emission rate. Remember, the cars are taxed according to their carbon dioxide emission rate. So there are different percentages available based on different emission rates. You don't have to learn it. You will be given all this in exam. There's a car fuel benefit and there are company van benefit. These are the benefits which a person can deduct from its employment income. Then moving ahead, there are capital allowances. This is tax depreciation. Remember, once we shall try to compute, when we shall learn to compute the trading profit, the depreciation is also added back because this is not an expense which is allowed by the tax authorities. Instead, they give you an expense known as capital allowances. So how they are calculated, what are the rates, what is the method to calculate, we shall discuss all this. But these all rates are given to you in the exam. Then there is a different cash basis accounting. If a person is doing cash basis accounting, what is the revenue limit if he has to be if he has to opt for some scheme, either it's a VAT scheme or it's a property or there are some other schemes available. So when a person can do cash accounting, if its revenue limit is 150,000, we don't have to remember this revenue limit. Then there are cap of income tax relief, means there are some income tax relief available up to how much income they are applied. We shall discuss in this income tax area. Then there is a corporation tax rates. The companies pay corporation tax as we discussed earlier. So there are different rates available. The financial year 2018, 2019, and 20. So in all year you have 19% rate. It becomes a bit easy to calculate when you are given the question, a corporation tax question for the previous year as well, because we have the same rate for all the year in questions. If there is a profit threshold, we shall discuss what is profit threshold and how it is applied. Then the value added tax standard rate is 20%. You guys are given. The registration limit is 85,000. If a person has to register for the VAT, it means he must have an 85,000 gross turnover for the previous 12 months. Then there is a deregistration limit, and if a person now wishes to re-register, the limit is 83,000. We shall discuss that in detail. Then there are inheritance tax rates. As I told you, there is a lifetime tax and there is a death tax as well. So lifetime rate is 20%, whereas death rate is 40% when a person dies. His all estate is charged at 40%. We shall discuss how to calculate and apply these rates. Then there is a relief available in inheritance tax, that is known as taper relief. For example, if the person has gifted someone to someone else, and how many years before his death that gift was made, it will decide that how much percentage is applied. So we shall discuss this when we will do this. Then there are some capital gain tax, CGT tax rates also available. There are different limits of business disposals and non-business disposal as well. Then there are national insurance contribution rates. As I told you, different types of NIC. That is class 1 employee, class 1 employer, class 1A, class 2, and class 4. So these are 5 types of NIC which we shall encounter. You see, everything will be given in the question. Means that this is the income range and this is the rate of that class 1 NIC which will be applied, and this NIC is paid through that pay system, pay as you earn, by the employer if a person is employed. And then this is paid through the self-assessment system if a person is a business, because it is also paid by the employers as well. So these are the rates given in the question. Then there is the rate of interest. Official rate of interest is 2.25%. That will be used in many different areas of the syllabus. Then rate of interest on underpaid tax, that is if a person has paid lower tax, he was actually due for higher tax, and he has delayed that tax, he will be charged with an interest rate of 2.75%. And if a person has paid the higher tax and the tax authorities have to refund that person an amount, and if the tax authorities are refunding that amount after a year or two, they will also pay the interest rate, that is 0.5%. Means if a person has to pay to the tax authorities, that is 2.75%. If the tax authorities have to pay that interest to the person, that is at 0.5%. So we shall apply those in the exam area as well. Then there are standard penalties for errors. If a person commits different errors, there are different penalties. So these are also rates given in in exam to you guys. So you saw there is a lot more types of rates and allowances and reliefs, which if you guys start remembering, it might become very difficult. So these are given to you in the question, these are given to you in the exam, so that you don't have to learn these. All you have to do is just to understand how to apply these rates in a different scenario, in a different question. So if you guys have now any questions, any issues, you guys are most welcome to contact me. You might get my contact number if you wish to get yourself enrolled. You can ask as many questions as you wish before joining this tax class, because if you are not convinced, if you are not satisfied, you will not join the class. So I'm always available for the questions before joining the class, if you join the class, and during the study period as well. So take care, take best care of you, stay safe from the COVID, maintain social distance, please observe SOPs, standard operating procedures for the COVID, keep yourself healthy and your family as well. So goodbye and Allah Hafiz.